down to Rhymington Square. All of your friends are waiting there.
There's Rizzo and Dewey and Strawberry too.
Hugo and Jimmy will rhyme with you.
There's Gubbins who lives under Melody's hat.
And Molly, who's always up for a chat.
So come on down to Rhymington Square. You'll have an adventure if you dare.
A rambling chat about this and that. First thing this morning, I woke up from snoring, out of a very deep sleep. Breakfast was bland. It was ham from a can. So I left without making a peep. The day was sunny, the kind that a bunny would love as it goes for a hop. I sailed down the trail, past a snail and his mail, until I was brought to a stop. There was a tree as tall as can be, just asking for someone to climb. I gave it a think and was up in a blink, leaving the ground far behind. Branches are tough, they're rough, and they scuff. I struggled to get to the top. I stopped for a rest as a guest in a nest. And that's when I had a thought. If I lose my shoes, first one, then two, and let my toes have a try, it's plain to see there's some monkey in me. And soon I said hi to the sky. Hello. I counted the birds and came up with words to describe all manner of cloud. When rain started to fall, I looked at a gull who said,
"Kid, you should really climb down."
Looking down with a frown, I imagined the ground probably wasn't too soft. So I grabbed onto the knee of a passing bee, and suddenly I was aloft. We passed by a plane and were soaked by the rain, and lightning crashed left and right. I looked at the bee, who looked right back at me, and we knew we were in for a fright. I told him my name. "Hi, I'm Jimmy." And he did the same. "I'm Peter, nice to meet you." While looking for someplace to land. There's a time to chat, and this wasn't that. Whoosh. So I covered my mouth with my hand. We found some shade inside a cave, then realized we weren't alone. There was a bear, but he didn't care, so long as we got out of his home. The rain clouds were gone. It was time to move on. The bee was flying away. I waved goodbye and said thanks for the ride. And he said, "Have a nice day." Looking at the horizon, I began realizing I'd forgotten which way was where. I walked for a while and thought with a smile, "That's okay, I really don't care."
What's that in my hat? This morning, I noticed that my old hat was looking torn and worn and flat. Outside, the sun is hot and bright, shining down with all its might. And I soon start to perspire because my head is now on fire. "This won't do at all," I said. "I can't have fire on my head. If I don't have a hat today, I can't stay outside and play." I went down to the local hatter and said, "My hat is all in tatters. I need something new and fun to wear outside in the sun." I tried a hat that was very tall, I tried a hat that was very small. I tried a hat all covered in hair. I tried a hat that was a square. I tried a hat made for a rat. Then a hat that was very flat. I tried a hat as big as a whale. I tried a hat that had a tail. I tried another, more and more. Every hat in the hatter's store. But none of them looked good on me. Not a single hat. How could this be? The hatter had just one more box, covered in dust with many locks. He said,
"This is your hat, you'll see,"
as he handed me the key. I unlocked the box, and what did I see? Inside was the perfect hat for me. I placed it gently on my head. "I like this head," my new hat said. I wore my hat down into town, but I noticed with a frown, anywhere I went that day, mischief seemed to follow my way. When I stopped to have a chat with the next-door neighbor's cat, he suddenly jumped up with fright and ran away out of sight. When I passed by someone eating lunch, I heard a munching and a crunch. They said that I was very rude for eating all their yummy food. When I went into the store, bananas and apples were thrown on the floor. When I went to play in the park, all the dogs started to bark. Why is everyone mad at me? I cried and hid under a tree. That's when a voice from on my head said, "They should be mad at me instead." I took off my hat and was surprised to find a monster hiding inside. "I've been scaring everyone in town. I didn't mean to make you frown. I've been stuck in this hat for so long. I forgot that scaring people is wrong." "Don't be sad and cry," he said. "I'll be good while I'm on your head." The monster was friendly after that. He even said sorry to the cat. He helped an old lady cross the street and gave a dog a tasty treat. This hat is really one of a kind, and I'm glad that it is mine. Not many people can say that. There's a monster in my hat.
The day the big monster came to play. There was a big monster who lived in the sea, deep under the waves where it's cold and lonely. There were fishes around, but they were no fun. There were no other monsters. He was the only one. One day he looked up from his deep ocean lair and wondered if there were more monsters up there. He swam up from his home on the ocean floor. Maybe he'd find some friends up on the shore. That's when the big monster arrived in the town. So enormous, he knocked all the buildings down. With a fin like a shark, he rose out of the ocean. A gull screeched and cawed.
Hey, what's all the commotion?
A great tidal wave crashed onto the shore. The monster let out a terrible roar. And the fishermen looked confused in their boats to find that they were no longer afloat. Then one giant foot pounded into the ground, creating a crater a mile around. The terrified townspeople started to flee, and the monster called out, "Hey, wait for me!" He squeezed through the buildings and stomped down the street, leaving a trail of broken concrete. The monster was having such marvelous fun. He didn't know that he had scared everyone. He peered through the windows, looked under a train. He even checked in a passing airplane. But the monster could not find his friends anywhere. They had all run away. It just wasn't fair. In the middle of town, he sat on the ground. He hung his head down and he said with a frown,
It's lonely down there at the bottom of the sea. I'm the only monster there. There is only me.
Then, all of a sudden, he heard someone shout.
Please help me! I'm stuck and there's no way out!
Someone was trapped in the town's tallest tower. The monster could save them with his superpower. He reached up and grabbed them in his giant hand, then lowered them gently back onto the land.
Thank you, big monster. You saved me from falling.
The townsperson said,
Maybe this is your calling.
It's good to have someone enormous around to reach the high places far from the ground. The townspeople agreed that the monster should stay. He could be a big help in his own giant way. The monster could play all day and have fun. He was no longer the only one. He had found a whole town full of friends, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.
Dinner time rhyme. When you're in a group, it's hard to make soup. Too many cooks, one may say. But I am here now to show you all how making group soup is the best way. We begin with a pot you can fill with a lot of water right up to the brim. Then we turn on the heat, add an onion and beet, and cook till they tumble and spin. Add 3 steps of the stairs, the hair from 2 pairs, 5 months of the year with haste, 4 left-footed shoes, and a jazz singer's blues, and a pinch of your mother's toothpaste. 10 baseball bats, 8 really small hats, stir in a pile of snow, the crust of a pie, a chunk of the sky, a stoplight when it says go! A football, a sprocket, a dog toy, a pocket, a bunny ear, tied up shoelace. Tomato, potato, tomato, a meteor from outer space! Woo! Now grab 20 bowls that were painted by trolls and pour through a basketball hoop. The soup is all done! Wasn't that fun? And that's how you make a group soup. Now it's time for the main course. When you're dining with the queen, make sure that you're nice and clean. Wash your hands and wash your face. Don't leave dirt around the place. Put on your favorite underwear. Shine your shoes and comb your hair. Wear your finest suit and tie. A hat so tall it scrapes the sky. Make sure you arrive on time. Dinner starts at 10 to 9. Sit up straight! Don't you slouch! The dinner table is not a couch! Don't you dare play with your food! It's considered very rude! You cannot slurp your soup, I say, unless the queen says it's okay. And no, you can't eat with your hands! No, this wasn't in the plan! There are forks there for a reason! Throwing food is next to treason! Don't grab a handful of that cake! It took 100 hours to bake! Don't lick the frosting off the walls! Don't take the food into the halls! Don't wipe your face on my new drapes! Don't feed the dog grapes! The bathroom's really not the place to shovel food into your face. Oh, when you're dining with the queen, make sure that you have time to clean. She likes her dinners to be fun, but they're messy when they're done. Who wants dessert? Ice cream, isn't it the best? I eat ice cream while I get dressed. Ice cream, I tell the neighbors. I eat ice cream, all of the flavors. Ice cream comes in a truck. I eat ice cream next to a duck. Ice cream, stack it up high. I eat ice cream that touch the sky. Ice cream, it never melts. I eat ice cream. Oh, it melted. Ice cream is no more. Can't eat ice cream off the floor. Ice cream was my motto. But now I'm all about gelato! Hey there, underwear! Hey there, underwear! What you doing way down there? Let's go to the county fair. I'll show you off without a care. Everyone might point and stare at me in my underwear, but I wear them with such flair. I can wear them anywhere. I can wear them in a chair. I can wear them in the air. I'll wear them anywhere I dare. I only ever need one pair. As I frolicked unaware, my underwear happened to snare, and they soon began to tear. It was worse than a nightmare. Suddenly I was aware that my bottom was now bare, and everyone began to stare and laugh. It was just so unfair. I quickly ran away from there, and my heart filled with despair at having ripped my underwear and leaving me with my bum bare. And now the underwear declares, there's something that I want to share. Hey you, boy up there, it's me, your favorite underwear. Maybe you should take more care when you're wearing me out there. Soon your favorite underwear may become torn and threadbare. What will you do without a pair of strong and sturdy underwear when you don't even have one spare pair of underwear to wear? I hid inside a darkened lair, and I said a little prayer for my shredded underwear, to me so precious and so rare. Suddenly, I became aware there was something in this lair. It gave me quite a frightful scare to see a hairy bear right there. The bear sat in a comfy chair. He didn't care that I was there. In fact, he helped me to repair my favorite pair of underwear. He took a little fabric square, and then gently, with great care, he sewed it right over the tear, like it had never been there. Now, my dear, I do declare, nothing else can compare to my favorite underwear. I took my mended underwear back down to the county fair. All my friends were waiting there in their favorite underwear. They were glad, they didn't care that they had seen my backside bare. They forgot the whole affair. Now let's show off our underwear.
A race so grand across the land. Around the world in 80 days, the challenge has been set. By any means, in any way, to win a handsome bet. To start, we must leave our front door and never look behind. Down the path we've walked before, who knows what we will find? To the station where the train is waiting, don't be late. There's no time to eat chow mein, it leaves at 10 to 8. The train will take us out of town and through the rolling hills, past the forest and around the old forgotten mill. We suddenly come to a stop. There's something on the tracks. Train robbers dance the Lindy Hop and steal all of the snacks. We don't have time to watch them dance. We must be on our way. But our luck changes as by chance we see a passing sleigh. We hitch a ride with our new guide, a jolly man in red. He says that if it were Yuletide, the sled could fly instead. But since it's summer, it's too hot. The reindeer just can't fly. So on the ground they have to trot, longing for the sky. After a time, we reach the sea and bid our friends farewell. Our ship awaits down at the quay. We hear the ringing bells. The captain sails us straight and true for 20 days and nights. But when we're only halfway through, we see a frightening sight. From deep within the ocean blue, we see a pale white tail. The ship, the captain, and the crew are swallowed by a whale. Its belly is filled up with boats, 100, maybe more. Chests of gold and bottled notes that never reached the shore. We meet a pirate who's been there at least 100 days.
There's only one way out, I fear. It's not an easy way. There's a blowhole way up high atop the giant's head. To reach it, you would need to fly,
The pirate sadly said. But our captain's no buffoon. He has a trick or two. His ship has a hot air balloon of yellow, white, and blue. Up and up and up we float until we reach the top. We tickle the whale on the throat. He asks us please to stop. With a mighty big achoo, we all come tumbling out. The pirate captain and the crew all give a joyful shout. The pocket watch chimes in and says,
"There's one day left to go."
if we don't hurry, we won't win. There's no time to be slow. The captain hoists the sails and puts the engine in high gear.
You better hold on to your tails. We're getting out of here.
We zoom across the ocean faster than a speeding train, past the forest in one motion over the hills again. Before we know it, we arrive and not a minute late. As the clock strikes right on 5, we open the front gate. Around the world in 80 days, the grand prize has been won. We all say hip hip hooray! Our journey's finally done.
The best cowboy in the West. They say Rizzo is the best of all the cowboys in the West. He raises horses with horns and flapping wings. And he'll tell you with a grin that he rides faster than the wind. But I think that he exaggerates these things. Word spread around the town that a horse of some renown escaped his stable and had broken free. The mayor said, 100 gold to any cowboy that is bold enough to bring my stallion home to me. The best cowboys in the land agreed to lend a helping hand for a chance to prove they're better than the rest. There was Melody and Gubbins on a stout pony called Nubbins, and Dewey in his famous jeweled vest. Then there was Molly, who was always nice and jolly. They say she can lasso any beast she sees. There was Strawberry, of course, riding Licorice the horse, who could outrun any other horse with ease. So the cowboys took their reins and they rode across the plains till they found the valley where the wild horses fly. And leading that battalion was the mayor's cherished stallion, who was running wild and free under that never-ending sky. Molly hollered good and loud,
Yeehaw!
and charged out from the crowd. but the stallion dodged her lasso and took flight. The other cowboys stormed ahead, but Rizzo hung back instead, watching and waiting until the time was right. Though his legs were short, Nubbins was nothing of the sort. He kept pace with the wild horses as they raced away. Try as Melody might, she and Gubbins had lost sight of the stallion in the wild, confusing fray. Dewey tried a different tack and hopped onto the stallion's back, but he lost his grip and fell onto his face. The herd ran away and thought they may have won the day, but Licorice, quick as lightning, matched their pace. The valley shortly ended, where a great mountain ascended, and the stallion had nowhere left to run. The wild horses, undeterred, took flight like giant birds and disappeared into the glowing sun. From his vantage point up high, Rizzo saw the herd fly by, and he followed on his own winged steed. But those wild horses rule the sky, and though Rizzo sure might try, it's hard to keep up with their sonic speed. The stallion dipped and swooped, and he flew in loop-de-loops, but Rizzo stayed with him right behind. The stallion hid among the crowd as they flew into a cloud. Brave Rizzo followed after, nearly blind. Through the whirling haze, Rizzo met the stallion's gaze, and the horse knew that he wouldn't get away. Quicker than a flash, Rizzo flew right past and hopped up on its back without delay. He led the horse through the air, down into the old town square. The cowboys couldn't help but be impressed. The mayor said, "The legend's true. You're a hero through and through. Rizzo, the greatest cowboy in the West."
Daydream Supreme. If I was a great big monster, I wouldn't be scared of that lobster. I would say, "How do you do? I'll help tie your shoe." But she ran away scared and I lost her. If I was a fat, lazy cat, curled up on a doormat, I'd see a mouse, walk into the house, but there's nothing to be done about that. If I was as small as a mouse, I'd make a mushroom my house. I could make tea for me and a bee, but I spilled milk all over my blouse. If I was a magical fairy, I'd make all the cars in town hairy. They'd bound all around, leaving hair on the ground. There'd be too much hairy to carry. If I had a pet unicorn with a sparkly magical horn, we'd roll in the grass and pass notes in class and make necklaces out of popcorn. If I was a captain at sea, my first mate would be a wee flea. We'd sail to the end of the world with our friends. Wait, how'd we end up in this tree? If I was an astronaut, I thought that I wouldn't get caught by those little green men. Oops, they got me again. Now I've got to escape from this spot. If I could swim like a fish, I would fulfill my greatest wish. It would be such a dream to swim up that stream and land on a fancy dish. If I could run really fast, I would leave all my friends in the past. I would travel through time. The future would be mine. There'd be robots and jetpacks at last. If I could fly like a plane, I would never be lonely again. I'd make friends with the clouds, and we'd thunder so loud. The sky would never be the same. If I had superpowers, I'd fly through the tall city towers. I'd rescue that lobster from a mean old mobster. Then the city would be ours.
Lucky the Rubber Ducky. After a day of playing outside, I sometimes get dirty and yucky. That's when I hop in a big bubble bath with Lucky, my rubber ducky. He's yellow and fat with a shiny blue hat and makes the most wonderful squeaks. He floats like a cloud, no trouble at all, and just look at those cute widow cheeks. To my surprise, through the faraway foam, more duckies came floating in. But I am not one to complain about ducks. I say that this is a win. My lucky ducky has lots of new friends, and together we splashed all day long. I didn't question when more ducks arrived. I mean, what could go wrong? I heard a rumble and grumble and groan. The faucet was starting to shake. Out of the spout burst a billion more ducks, flooding the tub like a lake. In no time at all, the tub overflowed. Rubber duckies spilled onto the floor. I tried to stop it, but there was no chance. It was duckies and duckies galore. The bathroom was filling from floor to ceiling, and soon we had run out of space. Amongst all the duckies, I lost my friend Lucky. He vanished without a trace. The bathroom door burst and the ducks all spilled out, flooding the hallways and rooms. We flew down the stairs straight to the front door. We'd be outside pretty soon. The front door gave way and the duckies escaped and poured out onto the street. We flowed through the market, the park, and the school, sweeping strangers up off their feet. The duckies were forming a great tidal wave that spread out all over the town. Nothing was safe from the rubber duck flood. It seemed it would never slow down. I told the duckies that this had to stop, that bath time had come to an end. But I didn't know how to speak rubber ducky. I needed my lucky duck friend. I started to dig through the mountain of ducks, looking for Lucky within. It wouldn't be easy to pick Lucky out. Any one of them could be a twin. But this one is thin, and that one is tall, and don't get me started on hats. There's green, there's pink, there's crimson, I think, and a spooky one covered in bats. When I almost lost hope, I saw the soft glow of something all shiny and blue. With a last mighty dig, I scooped out the duck, and yes, it was Lucky, that's who. With two mighty squeaks, the duckies then stopped and turned back to where they first came. Through the street to my house, up the stairs, and the tub out of sight as they spun down the drain. The only one left is my good floating friend, who is there for me when I'm all mucky. With his shiny blue hat and those cute little cheeks, Lucky is my rubber ducky.
Show me the way to your hideaway. There is a secret hideaway where untold wonders and riches lay. If you've got heart and courage and flair, follow these steps and you'll find your way there. While your friends are playing in the park, pick up a twig and make a straight mark. If there's a tree that your mark points to, walk around it 3 times and check out the view. From here, you should see a box full of sand. in which you must dig a hole with one hand. At the spot where a round stone rests, you'll uncover a locked treasure chest. Now onto the roundabout you must jump, and go around 3 times till you stop at a stump. On the stump is a squirrel with the key that you seek, tucked away safe in the folds of his cheek. To give up the key, he expects to be paid. So gather some acorns and offer a trade. The chest will unlock with a turn and a click, but you'll find there's no treasure from which to pick. To reach your goal, you'll have to float. The empty chest will be your boat. On a little island atop a log, you'll meet your teacher, a wise old bullfrog. To croak and to ribbit and hop you must learn. Then the greatest of froggy techniques you will earn. You'll open your mouth and your tongue will fly to catch a gem flying high in the sky. Your mentor will point you the way you should march, till at last you pass under an old stone arch. You'll see a broken staircase with a door at the top. You'll recall what you learned from the frog, and you'll hop. The door will be locked, but you have the key. Place the gem in the lock and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Then at last, you'll have reached your hideaway, where wonders untold before you will lay. There are hundreds of games. You'll play 2 at a time. There's a ball pit and tunnel in which you can climb. There's the softest of sofas when you're feeling slack, and a robot butler who'll fix you a snack. You will look out in secret on the world going by. On the squirrel and the frog and your friends you will spy. You'll notice that it's been a while since you spoke, so you'll order the butler to tell you a joke. When he twitches and glitches and sizzles and sparks, you'll envy your friends having fun in the park. And you'll miss them and want to rejoin them and play. And you'll say farewell to your hideaway.
Have a nice day!